Well, blue drew an interesting card that they can't use because they don't have socialization yet. And the blue side actually doesn't do a damn thing. So they're going to hold off on that. Their population expansion, though, they notice, hey, I can wipe white out. 1, 2, 3, 4. They kill white off. They've now enslaved white. Now, this was a source of great problem in my last game. White gets no population growth. Not a big deal because they can't have one until blue gets a metropolis. Seemed like a good move to me to just take out another person for a while. Now, white's not gone from the game. They can still do certain actions, and those actions are limited to, well, what they can't do is domestication, revolution, trade, naturalist, urbanization, or Sabine raid. But they can do things to do with cards and with their brain, which is what they really want to do at this point in the game. They will also move their technologies along with blue, which means both can benefit from growth that either does. It's kind of a nice symbiotic relationship, which may not be that big a penalty to white, but I think it does help blue overall. How can white come back in the game? Well, two ways. If blue gets knocked out, white gets and thrown into either enslaved or falls into chaos or something like that. White's allowed to kind of escape. And if there are no blue cities to revolt against, they can teleport on top of any unit according to the FAQ, and this is not covered in the rules at all, and attack it. And this may result in them being enslaved again. It may result in mutual enslavement. I don't know what that'll do, but I'm sure I can fake something. On the other hand, if blue does build a city, white can start doing population expansions out of the city and into the surrounding countryside. They're still enslaved. They can't attack their masters, but at the very least, they do get to grow their population that way. Of course, they have a population growth of 0, so unless they figure out, and they could do that through Silverback, for example, unless they figure out how to get pieces out of there, they're going to be stuck as a very tiny population group within the blue center. They may end up never being on the board again. We'll see. All right. That's the end of blue's turn. I'm going to go to green's. Do I want to do something? Well, let's think about what we want to start with. Green's going to start. They can steal a card. And oh boy, they'd like to. What can they steal? Well, nothing useful. They could steal things that require stuff they don't have. However, they could steal this one and get a nut. A nut sounds like a good thing to have. I'm allowed to do 2 actions. Let's do that. So I'll steal this card, and it actually goes face down in front of them. They can't use it immediately. Anything else I want to steal? Well, if I have a nut, I can grab a hand. That sounds useful too. Do I want to clear, or do I want to try to keep this even? Because after I put my nut, I'm going to have something here, and if I do a fecundity decrease, I can move it there. Odd or even? Do I want a hand, or do I want to draw 2 cards again next turn? Oh boy. Let's see. I want to draw cards. It doesn't really matter. I can still steal the same card either way. Now I come to my play cards time, and I play this to uncover my nut. Yeah, I don't want to hear it. And that goes here. And then I play this to drop my population growth. And then for growing my population, well, what do I want to do? I'll come out of here. I can move through jungle, but I can't move across these bridges, so I gotta come this way. 1, that's the Ice Age makes that possible. 2, Ice Age makes that possible. 3, 4, 5, and I'm back where I was before. Probably going to get attacked again, but only having one piece is always kind of risky, right? You could get enslaved that way. I don't really like the idea of my people being enslaved, so I'd rather avoid it if I can. Let's go to black. Black has a whole handful of nice stuff. He's only got one action, though. And what could he steal? Well, he could do the fecundity decrease off of... This one took cannibalism. This one's... I don't know what that is. Lex. I'd have to look that up. Instead, though, he's going to draw a card. Or does he want to... Yeah, he wants to draw a card. He wants to expand a little bit more before he goes on. Nut in hand could give him an Elder. Elder sounds cool. He doesn't have one of those. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to play that. He takes an Elder. I'm not sure where it comes from. Can it come from either track? Or does it have to come from his population track? It's taken is the leftmost available on the innovation track. Excellent. That's a bonus. And he gets a producing Elder, which can be used on bidding and also on some effects like the locution that we saw before. If he wants to do this, he has to spend an Elder, which he can later regain with Storyteller. Okay. Yeah, last video is ready. Alright, now, did he have 2 or 1? He could have only had 1 because he took from here. So, and he's playing cards already. Stability roll, he doesn't have to worry. He's got a smiley face. Gets a population action. For population action, I set this up so that I could do this. 1, 2, 3. Now, do I want to move up this way? I think so. Because that leaves me space over here too. So I'm going to spread out over southern and Eastern Africa. And now I'm done with that. I don't starve because I'm in good shape. I don't have to roll this. That already happened. So now we go to red. Red's going to get 2 actions again. Remember, I set them up so that they would get more actions. And they have a nut and a hand. They can't steal things. They can draw cards. I don't have any animals, and it's harder to domesticate plants. I'm going to draw at least 1 card. Draw something that allows me to get a hand and a napper. That's pretty cool. Those will come from where? So those are going to fill my innovation track again. That's kind of painful. So I'm going to be down to 1 innovation anyhow, unless I do this pecking order, which I don't really want to do. Do I want to try to domesticate plants? Neither one's at a bonus, which means there'd be a pretty good chance I'd fail. I'd rather not fail. Failure sounds like a bad thing, and I can hold 2 cards anyway, so I'll draw a second card. I get something kind of cool. Second one is if I have a nut, which I do, I can get metallurgy and a hand. I could also trade food for sex. Metallurgy is very cool. That allows me to attack other people at a bonus. I definitely want that, and I want to bury it. So I'm going to play that first. I have a nut free. Oh, I don't have this one free anyway. Okay, so I have a nut free, and I'm going to take a hand. Well, I have that free also. But I'm going to take metallurgy, and I get a level of metallurgy, and that makes me a better warrior. I can beat people in combat now, and I like that. Okay, and I didn't free anything up, which means my innovation's still going to be pretty good. Do I want to hold this card? This card will give me an elder. But I do want to cover that metallurgy, so I'm going to play this. Oh, I can't. I want to keep my population actions up. So I'm going to have to expose metallurgy. Okay, well, that's that. Now I go to my production phase. I grab one of my population because I can fit one. And I'm going to do a migration. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't get to him with any value. So I'll attack him, and I not only kill him, but I get to stay in this space because I'm a better fighter than he is. That goes over, it's going to be hard to remember, on his innovation track, making him a little stupider. And now, and I probably screwed up with someone else already. Let's go to white, and then we can wrap this one up for the second. And I think I'll have shown enough of this early sequence that I can recap things more quickly later. Okay, white has one action available. They're a slave, so they can't do a lot. As a slave, they would really like to have metallurgy, though, because then they can... but if they take it, they give it to blue, too. Oh, that's no good. Okay, so what do I have? I have nut, hand, and social. Nut can give me hand. That's not very useful. Nut and hand can give me an elder. That could be stolen from me by blue. And I don't know if I really want that to happen. Although having an elder would be nice. Oh, did green have an eye? If green had an eye, they could loot one of red's things for attacking them. Okay. So I'm going to take this card. That's the only action I can do. Only allowed one. Other actions, well, I can play the card. I will. And I have a nut. So I'd get a hand and I'd get a metallurgy level. Well, both blue and I go forward in metallurgy because of the enslavement situation. Okay. That didn't help as much as I had hoped, but it's doing me some good. And now I can do a population action. I could do a culturation. No, I can't do a population increase because there's no city for blue. If there was a city for blue, I could start growing around that. So that's the end of the second turn, and I'm going to load this one up, and we'll start again with blue, but I'll be speaking a lot less, hopefully, in the next round or two.